The all-in card is starting to take shape. We have signed contracts by the Elite. SummerSlam this weekend, I think, right? SummerSlam this weekend, right, people? It's this weekend, right? I don't know. Chad Gable going 5 minutes with Gunther on Raw. More Cody and Brock. So we got a bunch to talk about tonight, people. So we might as well get to it. Awesome. How's it going, everybody? Smells Like Wrasslin, episode 79. Episode 200 of Dynamite. Main evented by Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida. And it ended exactly how it should have ended. As the match progressed, it just seemed like for them to do this whole match in the main event, Outcast interfere, it just seemed like for them to just set up another, fuck finish for the women's champion just seemed kind of lame. So Hikaru Shida, new AEW women's champion, which to me, I hope that leads to an eventual Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida match. The reports are saying she's not going to be healthy by Wembley Stadium. I don't think she's come out and said anything to that effect. So really, until it happens, it hasn't happened. So, and if they are going to try and recreate that freaking banger match that they had, Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter back in Dynamite of last year, which is probably one of the better matches of the year. Like, to me, that was one of the best matches in the history of Dynamite. But like, this is the quality match that I've been looking for in the women's division. Granted, there wasn't too much story build up. They really built up the fact that Hikaru Shida was a women's champion. She was champion during the pandemic. They said that a lot. They even mentioned that in the video packages that each woman cut on each other. She basically defended the title in front of no fans, and then when they finally had their first event with fans, they gave the belt to Britt Baker, who was steadily getting more and more over. I think she had that lights out match with Thunder Rosa, and no one was there. She did that in front of just a bunch of people, a bunch of other wrestlers in the crowd. So, that was the history that they put into this match. Outside of Toni Storm saying, "You're not going to beat me." So, I mean, was it the best build for a match? No. Did it end the way it should have ended? I mean, I would have also liked to have seen Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter if that was going to end up being the thing, but this could also mean that Jamie Hayter is going to be out for a while, a long while, which means, the show must go on with the women's belt, and they can't just keep on having women just sit on the belt for ridiculously long periods of time. You got to start building up other women to hold that belt, building good storylines and characters, and, really making that division into something, because it really just hasn't been great, I know that there's been a thing lately, Becky and Trish don't have a match at SummerSlam. That's because Becky and Trish's storyline sucks. That's because there's way better storylines that are going on in the WWE than theirs. You know what I mean? And that's not the fans' fault. You know what I mean? Like, that's how your company books you. They don't book you with the intent to get you over with the crowd. They just book you just to book you. You know what I mean? So it's like, in the end, if Vince is this is what I'm saying. In the end, Vince is running the show. Now, reports said that, number one, he had major spinal surgery. Number two, he got a federal subpoena about what was going on in the company. Now, he got absolved from within the company, but now the government is getting involved. He avoided any criminal litigation. All the stuff that he was faced with, he kind of paid off with money. So he paid like over $17 million in pretty much hush money to these people. So it's not like he, was in a court of law and was found not guilty. It was pretty much, that's pretty much it. Oh, you and Vince? What happened between you and Vince last night? That's what I want to know. But, like, that division is going to be booked like shit until Vince McMahon vanishes. You know what I mean? Now, he had the major spinal surgery. He's going to be away from the business, they said, indefinitely. But, like, what does that mean? The guy could sit on this couch and WebEx and run the whole show from home. He does not need to be there. Now, granted, him not being there maybe makes things a little bit less tense there, being that his physical presence isn't going to be felt there. But his, like, intellectual presence can be felt anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm like, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. Like, I thought he was done. They got him out of the company. Triple H was voted in charge. All this stuff. They start bringing back all these wrestlers. Everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, Vince McMahon's on the board of directors. Then they got rid of then they fired a whole bunch of board of directors. They got a whole bunch of new ones. And now he's back in Gorilla for Raw and SmackDown. So the guy was totally out. And now he's totally back in. So for me, unless he's dead, he's in. He's in. Unless he's, or like brain dead or something. Something where like he does not have the use of his faculties. That his mind is basically done. You know what I mean? But as long as he can make decisions, it doesn't matter what shape his body is in. That guy is going to rule the WWE. Which means that women's division is going to be booked like shit. I don't know how else to say it. It's not the fault of the wrestlers. I'm pretty sure they've tried. It's not the fault of the fans because that's how the storylines are being portrayed. That's how people are being booked. They're supposed to be, they're going to react if something's boring. They're going to react if they don't like something. And they're going to react if they do like something. What ends up happening in these matches is that you don't hear anything, Now, I'm shocked now, what's interesting is that if you look at some of the statistics online, apparently the women's matches in the WWE are some of the most highest rated in terms of viewership. So what the fuck's going on? If the booking, like, why isn't the booking reflecting the ratings and vice versa? Because I think the women's division is booked like shit. So I don't understand how they could be a high point in the ratings. You know what I mean? But then also, if they're a high point in the ratings, why aren't they getting enough television time? Why don't they even have a match at SummerSlam? It just doesn't make any sense to me. The Elite signed long-term deals with the company. So that's Matt and Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page. They all signed extensions with the company. The Dark Order signed an extension with the company. I also believe, the heck is his name? Kip Sabian signed a extension with the company. So a lot of guys settling in long-term. Listen, if the Elite leave AEW, it's not AEW anymore. I'm sorry, like, a lot of the reason why a lot of people start watching AEW is because they were fans of the Elite. And they're going to go wherever the Elite go. It was evident in ROH. When the Elite left ROH, their viewership and buys and eyes on the product, that left with them. And that was the same thing that happened in New Japan also. Like, the Bucks are a draw in, they are a draw. The Omega is a draw. Hangman is a draw. So, yeah, man, they're good wrestlers, but they don't book them for shit. You know what I mean? Like, they just booked in stupid fucking storylines, you know, with dumb fucking endings and all this shit. It's just, you know. See, even if they get called up for the women's division, it's still Vince booking the show, you know? The only refresh that's going to happen is that Charlotte's going to have more people to beat. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious they only want to give the belt to, like, 3 people, you know? So, I don't know. So, you know, the Elite leaving, it would have killed AEW. I'm glad that they stayed. Like, you know, like, things are going good with AEW. I mean, you don't just, like, selling 82,000 tickets isn't just, like, a fluke. You know what I mean? There was genuine interest in the product. There was genuine interest in London. You know, there's going to be a very European crowd there because it's probably so easy to get to London from all the other, you know, countries within Europe. Like, it was, all they had to do was book it and take a risk. And now they have to book a good card. Now, whether or not you think this card is shaping up to be good, I guess that's up to the individual. And I guess we'll get more into that as we go along with tonight's review. So, on the docket for tonight, we had Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Jack Perry and Jerry Lynn have a face-to-face. Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita face Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. The ROH World Tag Team titles were on the line. Aussie Open versus El Hijo de Vikingo and Commander. And in a triple threat anything goes match between Jon Moxley, Trent Beretta, and Penta El Cero Miedo. Main event of the night, Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. So we're going to start off the night with Chris Jericho and Konosuke Takeshita, along with Don Callis, defeat the team of Sammy and Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Obviously, the story here, Jericho is reluctant to face members of his own stable, especially the younger talent, which he said he was kind of going to cultivate and groom. You got Don Callis right now tugging at Chris's heartstrings in terms of getting him to join the Don Callis family, which currently only has a member of one. It's Konosuke Takeshita. So it's causing a rift in the Jericho Appreciation Society. You know, Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, they're not happy. Jake Hager gave up the bucket hat. He's not happy. Anna Jay chewed him out verbally. She's not happy either. Ty Mello showed up pregnant, saying that she wasn't happy either. The end of the match ended up being, I believe Daniel Garcia had, he had Jericho, and I forgot what was the submission. He had him in the Dragon Slayer. Don Callis hits Daniel Garcia in the face with Jericho's bat. Jericho goes for the pin. Jericho and Konosuke come away with the victory. Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara look stunned. They look betrayed. They then cut to a video segment with Tony Khan. Tony Khan thanks the fans for watching the 200th episode of Dynamite on the road to All In at Wembley Stadium in London. They basically just went to a video package showing clips from Dynamite. They did not tell us if it's going to be on pay-per-view. They did not tell us any information about the card as of that point. Later on, after this, Renee Paquette tries to get a backstage interview with Chris Jericho. Daddy Magic Matt Menard shows up and says there's a JAS meeting next week, mandatory. And Jericho has to show up. Jack Perry and Jerry Lynn have a face-to-face. Shivani introduces Jack Perry. He comes in. He's got a lot of heat. He takes the phone away from Shivani, demands Jerry Lynn to come out to get his ass whooped. Jerry Lynn comes out. He says as much as he'd love to make an example of Perry, he doesn't want to get in trouble for child abuse. He says he's got so many plates and screws in his body, there's no way a doctor will ever clear him to get in the ring and wrestle. But there is someone that he knows who can wrestle, who was an ECW guy, and who will whoop his ass. And Rob Van Dam's comes out. Now, the crowd popped big for this. There were rumors of Rob Van Dam showing up at Dynamite earlier today. Probably a couple of hours before Dynamite, the internet became buzzing about Rob Van Dam having a match at All In. I am not in agreement with this whatsoever, and I'll tell you why. I just don't like guys who are just like over the hump, older guys who've already had their moment, taking up time from a big event from guys who should have a moment. You know what I mean? Rob Van Dam is old. And I just don't want to see him at All In. Now, if they want to put him in the buy-in, that's fine. But he should not be a part of the main card. Now, what does that say about Jungle Boy? I don't know. Jungle Boy, maybe he should be a part of the buy-in. I don't like, like I said, his character isn't compelling. I don't believe anything that the Jungle Boy says whenever he says anything. He doesn't know how to be a tough guy babyface. He doesn't know how to be an asshole heel. So I just, I'm just not a fan of Jungle Boy. I think he's a guy that probably would do better if they just sent him to NXT. And then he's in the Performance Center and they just grind promos into him. You know what I mean? Like, it can't get any worse. But it's definitely not getting any better. Rob Van Dam, like I said, like, I just want to see, like, present, current, full-time stars having matches at Wembley Stadium. I want to see guys like Ospreay having matches at Wembley Stadium. I want to see people like Omega having matches at Wembley Stadium. You know what I mean? Adam Cole, MGF, like the top guys. This is a 80,000 seat arena that they did. This is one of the biggest wrestling events in history. And you're going to put on old guys? There's already talk of this guy. I don't even know what his name is. That they want him to fight Jeff Jarrett. The heck is his name? Does anybody know? I don't remember. Someone told me today. Let me scroll back here. What's this guy's name? Oh, Grotto. See, I never personally have heard of Grotto. So, my problem is not Grotto wrestling. Apparently he's a big deal in the UK. Now, the only videos I've ever seen being posted of him online right now are stuff with him and Drew McIntyre back in like 2015. All right? This is 2023. Okay? So he's not the same guy as he was then. You know what? I don't know of the guy. And if I don't know of the guy, I don't know if I want him on a big card like All In. You know what I mean? If I don't know of him over in America, you know what I mean? Then is this the kind of guy that you want to showcase in an 80,000 seat arena? Now, listen, if he proves me wrong, great. Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah. I just don't know. I just don't know who he is. So, hey, listen, if he puts on a good show at Wembley, great. But fucking Jeff Jarrett, man, come on. This is another guy. Like, now we're talking. And then also there's rumor of Jericho and Ospreay. So you got Chris Jericho, old. Rob Van Dam, old. Jeff Jarrett, old. I don't like this, guys. I don't like this. I don't think that these are people that you should be booking on a show that big. This is shit Impact would do. You know what I mean? This is shit that GCW did when they had their big show in Hammerstein, and they just put over all these old guys. They didn't put over guys like Effie. They didn't put over guys like that freaking dude with the pizza cutter. I forgot what's his name? Nick Gage. You know what I mean? Like, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. So far, not happy. I'm pretty fucking worried, because everyone could think in theory, oh, it's great if these guys are wrestling, but 80,000, man, 80,000 AEW, they want to see some bangers, man. They want to see 5-star fucking classics. They want to see some Wrestle Kingdom shit. You know what I mean? And you're not going to see that with 3 guys averaging like 48, 49 years old. I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Put them all in the buy-in, or don't put them on the show at all. You have so many wrestlers Oh, Gage did go over at Hammerstein, but Effie didn't. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, wasn't Effie supposed to be, like, the face of the company? Like, that was the guy that they were going to push? And they put him over, like, Jeff Jarrett? Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had the tag match against the Briscoes. I remember that. Yeah. I remember I ordered that pay-per-view, and I was super excited because I'm like, ooh, like, I'm hearing all these things. GCW is going to be a great promotion. It's the second coming of ECW, all this shit. I was like, all right, cool. I'll buy the pay-per-view. Let's go. There's a lot of hype surrounding this. Had some of my boys over. We watch it. No way, man. No way. Just bummed out. So I'm bummed out that RVD is going to be, it's potential he's going to be a part of the main card. Just not in agreement with it, guys. Not in agreement with it at all. This was a match that I fucking loved. Trent Beretta, Jon Moxley, and Pentagon in a triple threat anything goes match with Trent Beretta coming away with the victory. I definitely popped for this one. I wanted Trent to win. You know, like, I just feel like Trent's always fucking losing. You know what I mean? I want him to, if he's, yeah, whoa, man. Well, Eddie Kingston right now, I think when he comes back from Japan, he's winning the ROH world title. Definitely. I think he's going to go on a run in Japan right now. He's already doing the G1. He had an absolute fucking classic with Tomohiro Ishii in night 7 or 8 of the G1. He's a strong open weight champion. I think he's going to, you know, I don't think he's going to win the G1. He'll go like he'll have a couple of good matches. He'll win some, he'll lose some. And then once that happens, what the fuck was I saying? Shit, I totally lost my train of thought. I was talking about Eddie. Yeah, he's gonna come back and like he's gonna use that momentum. He's gonna come back from Japan. He's gonna beat his arch nemesis Claudio. And I think he's going to go on a run as the ROH champ. I think ROH needs a world champion like Eddie. Eddie will bring eyes to the product. He's a promo goldmine. I think he's definitely going to bring more eyes to the company. I would be more willing to watch Ring of Honor if Eddie Kingston was the champion, because I've always said that Eddie Kingston is world championship material. He's not going to get the AEW title, at least not anytime soon, because they're doing a lot of shit with a lot of the young guys, which is what they should be doing, especially with guys like MJF and shit like that. So I'm all right with that. ROH is his spot to do it. He's already gotten a title in Japan. I think Eddie deserves it, man. I think Eddie's put in the work, and I think he's a great character. I think he's a draw. You know, Eddie, there's never a time where Eddie Kingston doesn't get a pop. So I'm definitely for Eddie Kingston being ROH champ. But, you know, like the best friends, they always lose. I'm glad Trent Beretta won. It was a great match to have on Dynamite. You had 3 guys who were really exciting wrestlers. Jon Moxley, Pentagram, Penta, and Trent. Great match. They had everything. They had the tables. They had the thumbtacks. They had the garbage cans. And it ended up being Trent Beretta comes away with the victory. He pins Penta. This ended up leading to a scrap between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Best Friends, because Moxley attacks Trent at the end of the match. Yuta and Claudio start making their way to the ring, and they get jumped by Chucky T and Orange Cassidy. So it's going to be a 3-on-3 match in Daly's place. It's a parking lot brawl to commemorate the really good parking lot brawl that they had with Proud and Powerful, which is Santana and Ortiz, which I'm really hoping these guys come back. That would be great. Actually, I think I know there's rumor right now that it's going to be FTR versus the Young Bucks at All In. That's a match that you want to put on that card. Now, who should win? An argument could definitely be said that FTR should win that match. I mean, FTR is going on a killer title run. An argument could be said as they're having better matches with just the AEW titles than they did when they had the AEW, the AAA, and the IW. No, I'm sorry. They had the IWGP, ROH, and the AAA titles. I would say that they're definitely having a better run now than when they were holding all three of those titles simultaneously. So an argument could be made that FTR should be winning this big match at Wembley. An argument could also be said that the Young Bucks should win this match because FTR's already beaten everybody. Like, someone's got to take these guys out, and pretty much the only ones who only tag team that has enough clout to do it would be the Young Bucks. And it would be a marquee match. There's definitely FTR people and there's definitely Young Bucks people. That's the kind of eyes that you want to draw, those really hardcore, loyalist, tribalistic FTR and Young Bucks fans. You're never going to please anybody, so what the fuck does it matter who you really book to win the match? But definitely that match should be booked. Definitely. We have Renee Paquette backstage with Rob Van Dam. He said he's in AEW because Jack Perry ran his mouth. He said if he wins the title, he'll probably retire the title as it doesn't seem to be getting any bigger than Rob Van Dam. That made no fucking sense. I still don't want to see this match. MJF came out, got a big babyface reaction. He said that he was getting emotional. He disclosed that he had attention deficit disorder and rejection sensitive disorder. I don't even know if that's fucking real. Saying his brain is structured differently and he can't regulate rejection based on emotions or behaviors, which makes his life difficult. He said there's a lot about his past that fans don't know of. A lot of it he's blacked out. He was bullied. And he said the only way to attack people was to protect himself was to attack people before they could attack him. He said being a scumbag is easy, but it's not the way to go because he did it because he was scared. He's not scared anymore because of the fans who still showed that they cared about Max and had sympathy for the devil. MJF says that he's still a scumbag, but he's ready to be the fans' scumbag. So this got a "He's our scumbag" chant. So that could possibly lead to an "I'm your scumbag" t-shirt from MJF. I'm surprised if that doesn't show up on AEW shot within the next week. I don't even know. So there's a free idea, Tony. We got Reaper in the chat. Something tells me Bucks go over since we know that FTR got a 4-year deal. Bucks got a multi-year one, kind of like Owens, who is about to be a free agent. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Kevin Owens is about to be a free agent? I mean, Kevin Owens has been saying that he doesn't think he's going to wrestle much longer. He said that he thought he was going to do this for another 5 to 10 years, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it much longer. But it's possible. It's possible. I mean, like I said, FTR's had a great run. There's no one that could say they didn't have a good run, and if a team like the Young Bucks knocks them off, that's not bad. I mean, the Young Bucks, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams in the world. So if you want one of the best tag teams in the world to drop the belts, you should be dropping it to another best tag team in the world. Definitely. MJF said that one person taught him he could trust and be vulnerable, and that he deserves a friend. He introduces Adam Cole. Adam Cole walks out. He appreciates MJF for sharing his story and the man that he's becoming and telling him he's not alone. For years, Cole was a jerk because he was scared, and he put over MJF's becoming the man he was intended to be, as deep down inside he thinks there's a good guy in there. Cole says that him and the fans are proud of him, and MJF thanks Cole for performing verbal fellatio on him, reiterating he's still a scumbag. MJF brings up how he promised Cole a world title match last week, and he thought about it, and he says that Cole doesn't deserve a match. He said he deserves the match at All In. And he brings out a contract as for a world title match at All In main event. Roderick Strong's backstage throwing a shit fit. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett go up to him saying that Adam Cole always forgets about his true friends. And then they walked away. Cole used to be a member of the Kingdom with Bennett and Taven. So maybe they could possibly be recruiting Roddy into their ranks, which means Roddy would be moving over really to ROH instead of AEW. Excalibur said it's going. So now Excalibur at this point in the show says All In is going to be on traditional pay-per-view, Bleacher Report, cable and satellite providers, and international fight TV. So I will be getting it on Bleacher Report, definitely. Next match, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks defeat Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Standard trios match, just showcasing the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. But what was more noteworthy was what happened after the match. What happened after the match is, hold on a second. What happened after the match was interesting because they said, Omega handed Adam Page the microphone, and he said, for those of you that are unaware, the Elite have re-signed with AEW. Omega says they're in it for the long haul. They said whether it be on Dynamite, Ring of Honor, Rampage, or even Collision, you're going to be seeing more of them in AEW. And he goes, good night and goodbye, bang. So the Elite are throwing it down. They could show up at any show at any time. And you know what? That's kind of what you need from guys like that. You know what I mean? I mean, they're definitely going to bring eyes. They're definitely a draw. So they show up on any show, it's always going to be a positive. And the first Collision that they show up, it's going to pop a rating, definitely. Definitely. Because people are going to want to know if Punk is going to be on the same show. It's definitely going to be a part of the lead up to that. Are they going to interact? Who knows? People have definitely been been calling for a CMFTR versus Elite match. That could totally happen. Punk doesn't have a match for All In as of yet. Neither do the Bucks. Neither does FTR officially. So that's another possibility. That's a huge match. That's a match you want to book for All In. 100%. Then you have Punk and Omega in the ring together. That's going to pop. The Bucks and FTR. That's going to pop. Come on, man. It's Nick. Yeah, it's money. It's money. Come on, guys. Come on. Mogul Embassy's backstage said if AR and he's with AR Fox, saying if Darby Allin and AR Fox were so close, why didn't Darby Allin get him into AEW in the first place and not talk to him for 5 years? Swerve told the cameras to go to a movie that he had cut. It was actually Swerve, Strickland, and AR Fox showing up at the Buddy Wayne Academy. Nick Wayne was in there training. They show up, they jump him, they bust his head open with a bottle. He bleeds everywhere. It was it wasn't I think they broke a photo over his head. It was a picture of him and it was a picture of Nick Wayne and Buddy Wayne, his father. So he makes Nick call Darby Allin and basically calls out Darby Allin. So it's definitely going to be a tag match with Darby and Nick Wayne versus AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. Now, when that's going to occur, I have no idea. But that match is definitely being built. There's definitely animosity between these men. A lot of bad blood between them, so it should be a great fucking match. I'm hoping Nick Wayne shows up. I mean, listen, he's a kid. I don't expect him to be like super duper incredible, but like he's got a lot of hype behind him, so I'm hoping he lives up to that hype in that match. Josh walks alone into pits of danger. I love it. So that's what happened there. Aussie Open defeats El Hijo de Vikingo and Commander to retain the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Very high, fast-paced match. I love Aussie Open. I saw a match of theirs with FTR in London, which was one of the better tag matches I saw that year. I've seen both of these guys wrestle in singles match. I've seen all four men wrestle singles matches and tag matches. El Hijo de Vikingo is the current AAA champion. Commander has been awesome. It was a great match. Aussie Open coming away with the victory, retaining the tag belts. Now we go to the main event. Hikaru Shida defeats Tony Storm. One of the big reoccurring themes in Tony Storm's reign is that the Outcasts have been there to help her out. So it looks like in this particular instance, it bit them in the ass, and that's what caused Hikaru Shida to get the win. Once they, I thought it was kind of dumb that Paige threw the kendo stick in the ring right in front of the ref. But it was really to just set up the spray paint attack. But then the kendo stick was still in the ring, and Shida took out everyone who wasn't legal. And that's pretty much how she ended up winning the match. Hikaru Shida's a great wrestler. My only problem with her is that, like, just her promos are lacking. So it's just really hard for me. It's really hard to book blood feuds with her because, like, you're not seeing these, like, dynamic promos that happen in the ring. Now, does every feud that one person has to be in have to have great promos? No, not really. I mean, technically, they could always give her a translator, and she could always say whatever she needs to say, and just have a very good translator who's very animated and who's a good actor who could convey those emotions. And you could put Hikaru Shida in a match with a couple of people in that roster that are very, very good. So, like I said, book the division better, book the better women's wrestlers in the matches that are on television, so that every single time there's a women's match, it's a super high quality match. Like, I just feel like they just have to put on really solid matches every week. That division, more than any other division, needs to build a confidence and a trust with the audience that every single one of their matches is worth watching. Because I'm telling you, not every single one of their matches is booked to be worth watching. They need to do better by that division, and they need to do better by it soon, because you do not want them to have a match in front of 80,000 at Wembley and it's quiet. That is not something that you would want or I would want. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Episode 79. Love chatting with you guys every week. Want to thank Reaper and Josh in the chat for tuning in. The road to All In continues. The road to SummerSlam continues as well. I think oh yeah, that is. So Collision and SummerSlam are going to be going on at the same fucking time. So I'm going to be doing the Collision review, but I'm basically going to watch SummerSlam until Collision. I don't know, is SummerSlam starting at 8 or 7? I'm not sure. That's going to be a busy, busy weekend. So I will be starting the podcast at the end of Collision. I will have SummerSlam on and give you live reactions to SummerSlam as I do the Collision review. So, until Saturday, guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Tell your friends, any of your friends that are pro wrestling fans, this is the podcast to go to. Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Saturday nights, 10 p.m. AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, NXT, and WWE. All the wrestling that there is to talk about. If it's worth talking about, I'm going to be chatting it up here on this channel. So tune in here every week, twice a week, for all your wrestling needs. That being said, I will see you this Saturday. Collision, SummerSlam, the AEW title, the Real World title is on the line. CM Punk and Ricky Starks are going at it. FTR defends the tag belts against Big Bill and Brian Cage. Chris Statlander defends the TBS title against Mercedes Martinez. The Acclaimed will have a segment. Rampage is going to be Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta versus Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli in a parking lot fight. Anna Jay versus Sky Blue. I was going to put the song on, but I had my outro music on. It's not going to work. Swerve Strickland and AR Fox are going to be in tag action. Keith Lee and the Hardys versus Kip Sabian, Butcher, and the Blade. That's for Rampage. In terms of the card for SummerSlam, let's see what we got. SummerSlam, we got Roman Reigns putting up the title against Jey Uso in Tribal Combat. It's going to be the titles of Champion and Tribal Chief are on the line. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Seth Rollins defending his title against Finn Balor. The Women's Championship, Asuka is defending against Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair simultaneously. Intercontinental title. Gunther defends the belt against Drew McIntyre. Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match. The SummerSlam Battle Royal, which we know LA Knight and Sheamus are going to be the first two superstars in that match. The undisputed tag team titles. Oh no, these might be predictions. So there are other matches that are left off the card. There's no Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. We don't see a U.S. title match on the card yet. The women's match with Rhea Ripley defending not on the card yet, and the tag titles aren't on the card yet. So who knows? Who knows? But it should be a big show, big weekend for wrestling. Tune in here, 10 p.m. for all of my reactions and thoughts. Guys, take care.
And